Dear ones, it is Shiloh Sophia here, and I wanted to invite you to learn a little bit about Temple, which is our upcoming painting journey to explore your relationship with your body and energy. And it is guided by me, but also by your muse, because this is all about your relationship with yourself and your own creativity. And we're going to engage in four very, very specific practices that will contribute to your own well being, to your health, to your experience of your physical body, and beginning to relate to your whole body and your whole energy system, your entire beingness as a temple. These four practices are things that we do every single day. And basically, we're inviting a metacognitive inquiry in order to create awareness about these things that you're doing all day, every day anyway. We're just saying, hey, let's pay really close attention to how we're being in our life and see what happens and what wants to be communicated. So, we're going to be creating. Obviously, we're going to be painting, but also treating your whole life as a creation because you do create all day. You just might not be conscious of that. So we're inviting the muse to join you for this entire cycle all day long, from where what you wear to how you make your bed to how you interact with beauty and nature. We're also going to be focusing a lot on eating, inviting you to choose foods and to choose and chew, and also how you work with your digestion. I know for me, the way that my digestion works impacts every single other area of my life. I almost feel like all four of these practices, they're not only all interconnected, but if just one of them is off, then all of the others are impacted by it. So what if we pay attention to all of these? Obviously, there's many more, but this is what we're focusing on. So while this isn't a diet, there is a real close attention to eating and also playing with food combinations in a different way, and also being in relationship with digestion to do a digestion reset. And this can be as rigorous as people choose, or as relaxed as people choose. I'm pretty rigorous about all four of these every single day, and they're booked into my calendar. This is my practice. I do call it MICA, and it is totally about how I'm being about every single thing I'm doing. And it's just presence, right? Regarding moving, you're going to be noticing how your body moves, how it's speaking to you, what it wants to express, how it wants to create on the canvas, how it wants to work. And so there's going to be invitations to move. I'm going to be leading movement. Also, just stretch, spending quite a bit of time stretching in ways that you make shorter movements, making longer movements. Well, it's not exercise in a classic way, although you could bring this to exercising. I swim almost every day, and I bring this entirely into how I swim. And it's all connected, right? Because if I eat something the day before that my digestion is having a challenge with, then my capacity to move and stretch is different. And my resting is totally different based on what I eat, right? So they're all interconnected. But part of the big change is inviting the muse to be in every single area of our life. I do a very specific eating combination. I can get really victimy about it, where I'm like, why can't I just have this cheeseburger? But it's like instead inviting the muse to choose what I'm going to eat. And it's so fascinating how the choices are different, because it's not always just, oh, the thing that looks the healthiest. It's actually something else that I wouldn't necessarily normally choose for myself. And it could be based on how it sounds or what it looks like, but it works, and it takes me off of, being harder on myself about what I can and can't eat. And then I can also say, wow, if I do have the cheeseburger instead of the avocado salmon toast, then I'm going to have a hard time when I'm swimming, right? But I may choose the cheeseburger anyway, but I'm just noticing. Actually, I haven't had a cheeseburger for a year. That's not true. I don't eat those anymore, although I always want to. But it's not about criticism of ourselves or withholding. It's just about noticing. If I do have the cheeseburger, I'm noticing, right? Or if I swim or don't swim, or walk or don't walk, or stretch or don't stretch, I'm just noticing it. This awareness is going to establish a really powerful relationship with your body. And I know that many of you do most of this anyway. So it's like, well, I don't know, but I think many of us do here who are creatives. But it's about bringing this increased awareness to all four of these pretty much all day long. and just being completely aware or aware of not being aware as we move into sort of a Zen practice with how we're being. And then awareness around resting, that we could bring a sense of resting into our entire day. And I would say resting and also observing and leaning into beauty, how we sleep, the rituals. I mean, that's really a big part of this is the rituals around all of this. And by ritualizing everything, we really create a new relationship with it that is not like drudgery and withholding. It's more like choosing, inviting, noticing, and increased awareness. And it starts to feel really good. And then we also start to notice when we become unconscious, but no need to judge ourselves because we're simply noticing. So, this is all an invitation to establish a strengthened relationship with your body through things you do every day with love at the center of our choices. We're going to be an inquiry about what seeks to be expressed and bring that into our lives and onto our canvas daily, weekly. We're going to be asking what message will be revealed by your sacred temple. The body always has a message for us if we listen, and we are listening. We're also going to ask what longs to be released because, as we know, the body and the field have trapped traumas, energies, and information. And when we are self expressed and in a state of noticing, things that are trapped can be released in a safe way. We essentially have three sort of ways that we're approaching the work. One I call alchemical expressionism, and that's where we're aware that we're making a change. So, for example, say I'm feeling blue and I start painting with some blue and I ask, what is the shape of blue? And then I say, well, what if I could feel magenta? And I want to be causative about that. So I begin to change the stroke of the brush from blue to magenta and causative. That's an alchemical change. And the painting is whatever it is based on whatever it is that you're doing, right? And then we're being causative about moving ourselves from one state to another, pure intentional creativity. And then we also have this medicine painting approach. All of this almost becomes invisible in the process, but I just want you to understand a little bit about it. Medicine painting is painting with an intent to heal and receive information. And in this, we'll be focusing on 13 senses to bring our sensuality into the center of our experience. We're also going to dive into the places where we do have addictions and cravings and tendencies, and really ask what's underneath those that's actually asking for an audience. The way we work in intentional creativity is something like this, right? We bring energy, which is unmanifest, invisible for the most part, and we bring that often through the mind and the heart. So an intention arises. We choose to take an action, whether that's painting, eating, resting, walking, whatever it is. We note that the energy changes as soon as we pay attention to the intention and action in whatever form we choose. And then that is influencing directly our relationship with our body. To me, it's pretty exciting. So I really look forward to spending this time with those of you who are joining us for this experience called Temple. And I'm so happy that we're going to be doing it in super real time. There are some pre recordings, but all of the paintings will be done live. And you can also watch those later. But the energy that I bring when there's a live stream is different because I'm really tuning into you and where you are. And I'm looking forward to doing this for myself and sharing this with you because I have been on quite a health journey. And I wouldn't say that I'm through it yet because I'm still in it, but all the things I'm sharing with you are things that have made such a drastic change in my relationship to myself, my body, my food, my rest. I feel so much more in here, but it came from feeling so sick that I felt like I could barely move. And that if I had to feel that sick, I just didn't want to be alive. Not like I wanted to kill myself, but just like I didn't want to be alive. And nothing seemed to be working. Nothing alternative, nothing energetic, nothing psychic, nothing seemed to be working. until I started doing some very, very specific things, which I'm going to share with you. And the chances are you're doing a lot of this already, but this is an invitation to increased awareness about what you're doing and how you're doing it. And I'm hoping, yeah, it is a hope. It's a wish. It's a dream. And it makes me want to cry that we're going to have a new relationship with how we're treating ourselves and can inhabit ourselves as a sacred temple, because you are so worthy of honoring and being and inhabiting this sacred vessel, which is you. And your consciousness is inhabiting this stardust vessel. Let's engage in a powerful sensual relationship with who we be, how we are, and what we create. I look forward to spending this time with you.